Hello. So, just as I click record, my cat wants to come in. So, 1 second. In you come. There you go. Now, so the first video that we did on this topic was essentially all about getting you your interview, getting your foot in the door, making sure that your voice is heard, sort of thing, making sure that your cover letter stands out among everyone else's when you apply for this job. But what happens when you've got your interview? So you're called up by the store manager. Normally, it'll either be the store manager or it will be it'll be someone from recruitment. I had a very nice person called Nick who called me from recruitment. I remember taking the call. I was downstairs. My mum and my grandpa were sitting downstairs, and I got the call, walked outside, and he introduced himself, who he was, and asked me whether I'd be able to go to an interview. Now, remember, first and foremost, is that GW are a really, really cool company for working around your schedule. If there are certain times you can't do the interview that they suggest, just say so and give them a time that you can go. Because most of the time you'll be doing the interview either at the store. Actually, no, you will always do the interview at the store. You'll be going to the store to do the interview. Now, if you've been at that store for years, you will be a bit nervous because you will be going behind the scenes to do this interview. You won't do it in the storefront. You'll be going up to the office. You'll be seeing all the goodies, all of the new releases and things that are back there if it's a new release time. You'll be seeing all of the workshop part of Games Workshop where they're making models, they're spraying them. You know, if it's a bigger store. So yeah, that's generally what you're going to be going to see. And in your interview, there will be the store manager will be there, and there will be somebody from recruitment there also with you as well. And ideally, they will ask questions between themselves. I will get into the questions that they'll probably ask you as we go along, but generally, the slides are just going to be your normal shtick of what we're going to be, how we want you to be at the interview. So, this is GW. You got the interview. Congratulations. Now what happens? So, turning up. This all seems elementary. I know. This all seems like it's completely normal. Any sane person would do this, but trust me, the amount of people I saw who didn't do one of these things and immediately disqualified them from getting the role. Immediately. Like out of hand, just, you know. So, number one, be on time. Even if you have to leave early. Like, my interview for my first role with the company was on the other side of the country to where I am, because I decided to, apply for a job with the company, and I picked one I thought would suit me, and I said, right, no matter where that is, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go and see if I can get it. I did get it in the end. So I had to leave at 6:30 in the morning to get there. Make sure whatever you need to do, get there on time. Get there 20 minutes before and have a look around the store with your suit on. Second part of this, wear a suit. Wear a bloody suit, please. Always go in a suit. Even though it's Games Workshop. The amount of people I saw going for interviews and they were just dressed in a smart casual. No. A suit, please. Suited and booted. You need to be there. You need to be looking your best, because you need to treat this like it's a normal job, because it is. It is a normal job. Alright? And they will love the fact that you've done that. Okay? Don't look at them like a game company. Look at it like a job. Go professional, go on time, go in a suit. Number 3, wear a smile. Even if you're not a cheerful person like me, I am not a cheerful person. I am a dour, miserable person. Fool them. Wear a smile. You know, be in there. Be personable. Even if you are not that kind of person, just grit your teeth and do it. Because if you go in there nervous, if you go in there, well, be nervous, but if you go in there looking at the floor, if you go in there not smiling, if you go in there not making eye contact, you're not going to get the role. In normal jobs, you might get the role because, you know, they're not expecting you to bring in customers. But in this kind of a job, they're going to expect you to make make rapport with people. All right? So go in there, be laughing, be joking, be smiling, and always be upbeat. Always have energy. Okay? And number 4 is stick to the script, and the script is the script. So, a lot of this will be stuff that you covered in your cover letter. And it's important that you stick to what you said. Okay, so number one, you are super excited to help your local Games Workshop store grow. Okay, that's what you want to do. That's your number one thing you want to do. You want to help the business grow because you understand it's a business, and that, you know, without the business, there's no hobby. Okay, number two, you want to build the hobby for others. Okay, so these next three things are all related, but they're all very, very important. You want to build the hobby for others. Okay, so you want to bring people into the hobby. You want them to be happy. You want them to be, coming into the hobby. You want it to be growing, basically. And you want to build it so it's cool. It's a cool place for people to come and hang out. People to come in and actually be a part of the hobby. And number three, you want more diverse folks coming into the store. I want to make sure that the store is a fantastic place for new families / young people from schools. Now, I understand the word diverse makes you roll your eyes. It makes me roll my eyes as well. But, at the end of the day, you've got to realise this is what companies want. They want more diverse people. They want people of all different ages, sexes, creeds, all that sort of thing, which is no bad thing at all. It's a shame that we have to have it rammed down our throat every single time of the day, and it's a shame that a lot of people from my own demographic do not get jobs these days because they go to people who need diversity, do need to meet diversity quotas, which shouldn't be a thing. That's disgusting. In this, you really want to push the fact that you want it to be a hobby for everybody, especially young families and young people from schools, because they're the people who are going to be getting into it for the rest of their lives, hopefully. And you realise that that's the demographic that Games Workshop needs to hit, because they're the people who are going to be in the hobby for longest, and they're the people who are going to have their imaginations fired by all the world of Games Workshop. Remember, if you cannot remember what the slogan of Games Workshop is, it's unofficial. Okay, only the staff really know it. You might see it on one or two little billboards in the store. It's our world, your hobby. That's the actual motto. So, our world, your hobby. Our world means you're making the world really cool. Your hobby is the young people, so that you're getting into their heads and you're making them want to do this hobby. Alright, that's very, very important. Number 4, you want to make Games Workshop less of a cliquey place, less of a place for cliques. As you've seen other stores become groups of nerds that can intimidate new people. Now, I am on two sides of this. Like when I ran a store, there was a clique of neckbeardy nerds who were in my store, but they were generally quite harmless. They were generally quite nice. They were generally quite, helpful. There were one or two bad eggs in there, but there were one or two people who had like serious behavioural problems. So they had to be helped in different ways. So what you want to make sure that you get in there is that you don't want people huddled around a table in the store, being very silent and talking over rule books and like being very closed in, like a shield wall of. I used the term, and it's got a laugh in my interview. I said a phalanx of geeks. Like that really made them chuckle, and I think that's when I got the job. To be honest with you, So you don't want that in your store. You want people to be open and laughing and having a good time, and you want to make sure that these even if these cliques of friends do exist, that they're using the store as a method to do the hobby, not as a youth club. Then that's what you're going to make sure that you're getting across. Games Workshop isn't a place to go and meet if you're friends. It's a place to go and indulge in your hobby if you're friends. There's two completely separate things. One of them is conductive to running a business where you want new people to come in because it's open and everyone's getting involved in the hobby and everyone's having a laugh. The other one isn't. The other one is you have this one group of people over in the store, normally crowded around the gaming table so no one else can have a game, and it drives away new people. And finally, you want to work, and this is the least important but equally important, but not the least important, but you still should say it. Finally, you want to work in the hobby you love and get better as you go. This is the nice part. Once you've gotten through all of this stuff, you can now start gushing about how much you love the hobby. Right? Normally, people do this the wrong way round. They'll do the gushing part first, and they'll forget to do the rest. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do 5. Then you tell them. Finally, you tell them the story of how you got into the hobby. Hobby you love, and you want to get better at painting. You want to get better at doing everything in the hobby as you go. You want to learn. You want to learn how to be a better hobbyist as you're in the job, which is, you know, that's amazing. What a cool job. Even if they ask you questions like, hey, so who are you? How did you get into the hobby? Fair enough. Answer the question, okay? Don't just start going on to the 4 things above that, you know, because you want to say all that. Say how you want to, you know, talk about the hobby and things like that. But stop and wait for the next question, because I trust me, they will ask you about these 4 questions up here, these 4 things. They will ask you what you want to get from the job. You say you want to be a manager one day, you want to stay at Games Workshop, you don't want to go anywhere else. You want to be a Games Workshop person, you know, for the rest of your working life. And this is, you see this as your first step on that journey. Make sure that, you know, if they will ask you, what do you think working for Games Workshop entails? Okay, that's something that they will always ask. And working Games Workshop always entails hard work. It entails going home at the end of the day, tired but happy because you've helped a lot of people get into the hobby. You've helped a lot of people discover something that's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. And you know that they're going to remember you for the rest of their lives. Or we're going to say, hey, that guy, that Joe Blogs in Games Workshop, he really helped me get into the hobby. You know, you were the first contact in the hobby. You were the first person that they spoke to in the hobby, and you've made sure that they've got something that they're now going to enjoy for the rest of their lives. That's the kind of answers that they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear, you know, it's a gap job over the summer. They don't want to hear that, you know, you just love the hobby and you think working with it will be really cool. They don't want to hear any of that. They want to hear how you're going to build the business. How are you going to help build Games Workshop? If you do that, not only will I'm not promising you will get the job, but not only will you stand a very good chance of getting the job, you will walk out of that room and they will blow air out of their cheeks thinking, Jesus, either that guy was well prepped by someone already in the company, or he's exactly the guy that we want. And when I say guy, I also mean girl. You know, that's just how I speak. Because there are a lot of cool chicks working at Games Workshop as well. So, you know, that's what they will think. They will either think you've been prepped by somebody in the company, so they'll probably ask you, do you know anyone in the company? Always say no. They'll say, do you know anyone in the company? Say, absolutely not. No, the only person I know is the manager here, because I've spoken to him a few times, or whatever. That's it. You know, you've not been prepped by anyone. Walk up there, because then they will be like, okay, that guy is the person that we want. Yeah? And the only reason you won't get a job using a script like this is if somebody else does exactly the same thing and they're just more happy and bubbly than you are. Or they're a woman. Because I was told, no uncertain terms, we need more females managing Games Workshop stores, which is true, to be fair. But, you know, still, if a man's better at doing the job, he should just get the job. But it doesn't matter. So, that's a script. That's it. And once you've walked out of Games Workshop, make sure that you leave it all on the table. So when you walk out of there, you can go home with your head held high and think, do you know what? If I didn't get that, screw it. They've at least got a really good impression of me. That's the best thing. That's the best feeling you can have. I'll tell you the story of my first interview there. You know, I walked out and I walked back to the train station and I was expecting a long journey home. And I was listening to music, really pumped up music, thinking, yeah, this is really cool. And I came home and I was ecstatic. I was really, really, really happy. Like, I knew I'd got it. I knew I'd got it. And this is exactly what I said. So, there will be a video later on if you ever wanted to be a manager. There will be a video on how to write a business plan. There will be a video on how to... because if you want to be a manager, they'll expect you to write a business plan for the store. So it'll be how to write a business plan, how to approach being a manager, and approach the interview of being a manager. Well, that's what we'll do next time. So, one more thing I want to say just before I go, and that is that if you're watching the Let's Plays that we have on the channel at the moment, Dragon Age will be continuing, Dragon Age 2 at least will be continuing, and we'll be having a little bit of a break from Dragon Age after that, and as we go into the new year, we'll be doing Inquisition after the new year, because I'm currently playing through it on my own, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't want to play through it all again. We will be doing more old school games as we go as well, and obviously there will be a few lore videos coming as well, which I can't wait to start doing. But, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you guys next time.